Good evening, educators. Welcome to my channel, Tea and Teacher. Today, we are starting a series with the name Invisible Everyday Heroes of Education. So, you might have understood from the topic the people who are unknown but have contributed to the field of education. And we will also be learning many things from them as we go through this journey. So, without any delay, I welcome Mrs. Rajeshwari Janakiraman. Welcome, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, Maria ma'am. Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure and privilege to be here.
Thank you, ma'am. First, before we move ahead, let me introduce her. Mrs. Rajeshwari Janakiraman is a dedicated educator professional who has an experience of 20 years in the field of education. She has a proven ability to create and monitor policies that promote safe environment in the school. She encourages continuous improvement for teachers and students. She encourages open communication with colleagues and students. Mrs. Rajeshwari Janakiraman has also mentored educators in the creation, implementation of classroom instructions, lesson plans, and student assessments. She has to her advantage core skills and has mentored many educators with classroom management, curriculum development, and pedagogical theories like multiple intelligence. To tell more about her, she has successfully implemented CBSE-I curriculum in Pune's first CBSE-I school. She has mentored the 10th standard students of the first batch with 100% results in India. She has been honored with International School Award from the British Council for integration of the international learning in the curriculum. She has also donned the role of CBSE-I exam superintendent. Mrs. Rajeshwari has trained 100 teachers in 3 different schools across Madhya Pradesh, Mumbai, and Pune. She has received Favorite Principal Award in 2019. She has also been honored with the Happiness Quotient Award in 2019. So you can understand what achievement, these are a very few achievements which I have shared of hers. So today we are going to continue the journey with her and learn something which she has gained in the 20 years of experience. Ma'am, let me know what are your expertise?
Like you just said it in my brief, Maria ma'am, basically expertise, I would say I've been in the teaching field for more than 20 years now and basically attached to the CBSE curriculum. So, the pedagogies, the methodologies of the CBSE, the syllabus, the implementation of the CBSE curriculum, everything related to CBSE, whether it's the inspection, whether it's the processes. So generally, I would say I'm an expertise in that. But yes, along with expertise, I would say passion lies in innovative teaching practices and strategies, which I have implemented in the schools that I was working earlier. So that is something which I can definitely guide the teachers.
Okay. Next question is, what motivated you to take up the job of teacher or principal?
So can I start?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was saying that as a child, I think all girls, we role model our teachers, and always when we are asked a question, what do you want to become when you grow big, we always say we want to become a teacher. So I think that stemmed when I was a child itself, that I wanted to get into teaching. But the main force or the main inspiration behind me being a teacher today is my lecturer when I was in 11th standard. Name Shanti ma'am. I was so inspired to teach us the particular concept. So I think she is the reason why I'm a teacher today. The way she used to multitask, the way she would handle all the responsibilities in the college was something really an example for me to follow.
Okay, that's great. So I'm inspired by you, ma'am, and I consider you as my mentor. Okay, can you share an experience in short, like from where a teachers can learn, any experience which you have gone through and you feel that the teachers would be able to learn from that?
There is one experience which I always share with my teachers as well, which I would like to share with everyone who is inspiring, who's aspiring to be a teacher. Is when I started my career, way back in the 1990s, I was a class teacher for class grade one, and this teaching career started for me abroad in the Gulf. I was in Oman. So in this Indian school there, in my class, there was this child who was very, very, I would say, naughty and always troubling others and things like that. So me being a very young teacher, I tried to make him understand and explain things, but it didn't, it used to fall on deaf ears, obviously, because he was a child. So I called the parents on board and I had a chat with them about what he was like, what all he was doing in the class, what are the challenges we were facing with him in the class. And I thought, okay, it's over and there then. But what I came to know 3 days later was something very shocking and transformed me or my thought or my being a teacher. The mother had come to visit me 3 days later, and she was really in a very bad shape. I mean, she was like crying away, and then she said, "No, ma'am. After you had said we understand your concern, we went home, and the husband had really punished the child quite badly. So now they came from a background where the father was a truck driver. So they were facing challenges. The child was sent to Indian school because he wanted him to do better. So when she told me how he was punished and all, trust me, I did not sleep for almost a month because I went through such a guilt process. I felt I was too quick to judge the child or his behavior. Right. So this is a very important lesson that I learned from there. Then from there on, I took it upon myself to understand why a child does what he does. There could be hundreds of reasons behind his behavior. And then I used to go ahead and then whatever is required to counsel the child. And trust me, it made a lot of difference. So this is a little difference we as a teacher can make in the child's life. I feel as a teacher, we should not be quick to judge or label a child. We should try and understand why what things is happening. So I think this was one major experience at the beginning of my career, which kind of changed me completely in the way I should be going ahead in molding the young minds, for their future and developing them into stronger individuals. So this is one very important thing which I would like to tell all teachers is be very patient, try to understand where the behavior comes from, try to get to know, try to see how you can do that extra bit to help the child, and you will see what a beautiful transformation you will make in the child's life.
That's a really great indeed lesson to be learned for all the teachers like us. Ma'am, can you share any experience where you have handled a very disruptive child and like it has been a very tough time for you?
Yes, this was, I think, in 2015. I had a child in class 8. Uh, he used to be he had a lot of anger management issues. He used to be very snappy, very quick in his behavior. He would get into fights with everybody, and he would not just be friendly. And even talking to teachers, there was a lot of restlessness in the child, and every teacher would complain about him that he's disrupting the class, ma'am. He just doesn't listen, and things like that. So one incident that happened with the child was we had a math test in the class, and when the paper was given out, the paper, he tore the question paper. So obviously, understandably, the teacher was pretty upset. So she got him to me and she said, ma'am, this child we need to really take a strict action against him because he's torn the question paper. So I calmed her and I sent her away. Then I made the child sit in my office and I just asked him what happened. Why did you do what did you do? Well, why you did that? So I don't know what hit him. He shared everything. He opened up, and when he spoke to me, I realized he was fighting, a big battle at home where his parents were undergoing a dirty divorce battle at home. So he was, he had to go to court, and because of the, challenged in the house, or because of this, what do you say, commotion in the house, the child was put for tuitions for each and every subject. So he would just go home and he would just keep his bag, have food, and he had to rush for his tuitions, and he would come back at 7:38. So what actually came out from the entire thing was he never got time to prepare for his test because he was so exhausted. And believe me, the child is a very good student academically, but this kind of a routine had kind of somewhere played on him psychologically. And about this thing happening in his house, we were not knowing. Like I said, we are always quick to judge a child. So why he was disruptive, we observed him in different situations. All the situations he would be disruptive, he would be irritated, he would be angry, he would not like to be told anything. It was because of the psychological, emotional battle that he was fighting within himself. We feel 8th standard child is mature enough to understand, but still they are children. It's somewhere they feel the emotions. So this, I mean, really, this was very, very difficult phase for me, where I had to sit with him on a daily basis. I would sit with him, I would check up on him. I had to call the parents on board, change his study pattern, understand his study pattern, change the study plan for him, change the study schedule of tuitions and everything. So it took me an entire year to, kind of get him on board. I spoke to the classmates. I told them the situation. I said, we all need to support him, took the help of his classmates. So all of us worked on him. It took an entire year to kind of settle down and for him to understand, and helped him with his anger issues, helped him with his emotional needs when he needed to talk to somebody. So all these things, helped, and slowly, slowly we did see, a change in the child.
So from this, we understand that, the teachers should not label the children, and the way you have handled, these are the inputs which our teachers will be learning how we can handle such type of children by giving them time and understanding them, instead of labeling. So we have to go to the, as teachers, we have to go to their background also and understand from what background they are coming and what they are going through at home, because since they are at that age of teenage, where they are having too many things going on in their minds. So to handle such children, very difficult. So nice lesson learned from you, ma'am. Next question is, ma'am, with seniors, you have worked with senior students. So tell us one strategy to keep the students engaged and motivated. This is what is lacking in nowadays students. It's very difficult to motivate them to, to take up their studies or learn or something, because today's generation is really something very different. So give us one suggestion if you have any, how you can, or one strategy, like how you have kept them engaged and motivated. What is the best part to do?
The best part would be is build the rapport with them. Number one, when you have that rapport, when you have the bond with them, they come on board a lot better than when it's not there. So basically what I would do is, I was also teaching the senior students, like class 9, 10. I would teach them geography. So what I would do is, I would involve them in the learning. How? By connecting it to their real world in a lot of ways. So if I'm teaching a particular topic, I would, check out for maybe updates, news updates. If any new, anything has come about that particular topic. So suppose it's about mining. So is there any latest news about mining across the world? So, share those facts with them, connect it to their real world in a lot of ways. Then share the responsibility of the topic with them. Tell them that, okay, this is what we're going to be doing today, So I want you to tell me what you would like to know about this particular topic. Involve them in the learning. So they share, okay, ma'am, this is what it is. We would like to know these things. There are a lot of curiosity in the children, even if they are the senior students. So involving them in the learning, giving them the share of responsibility of learning the topic along with you. And of course, breaking the, rule of the teacher chalk talk method. You have to involve them in the learning. That's when they actually get motivated and are engaged in learning. Ask them to research some topics and come and present it in the class about a certain thing. And of course, along with this, we are so much under the pressure of the curriculum that we just don't wait to stop or think. We just want that 40 minutes period is so planned back to back that we want to, okay, this is what I've decided for the day. This is what I want to do the 40 minutes. But that should not be the case. We should have breaks in between where it could be a brain break. It could be some kind of a thinking activity you want to do, or it could be just kind of a just fun, thing in between the class. It could be 2 breaks, depending on the class that you have. If you know you have a very hyper class, a very restless class, and I think 2 breaks would definitely help in the 40-minute period. Because we feel, oh ma'am, 40 minutes, may if we give 2 breaks, that is almost 10-15 minutes of the period gone. But this, we don't realize in the long run, it helps in getting the children to engage in the learning much, better. We would play games. I would have small, games, like maybe to just be simple, maybe just jumble. Let's, okay, I give you this word, jumble, or maybe, okay, this is a big word. Maybe from the topic itself, make how many words you can. Maybe it could be just simple fun, like maybe damsharaj, or maybe I give them if it was geography, like I said, I speak geography, so I would give them a country. I'd say, okay, now you enact the country. Let the children guess which country it is. I mean, these were little things, because the way the children would look forward to the class and would not mind learning what was needed, because they were part of the learning process. And at the same time, as a teacher, we understood their needs. We have to understand that they're children. We have to understand the concentration span of the child. So these breaks, getting them part of the teaching, learning, and also sharing what you know. If you don't know something, accept that you don't know, and ask them, do you know something about it? Then they share whatever information you know, and then maybe even researching together. We don't have to be perfect as teachers. If we want to engage them and motivate the children, they also should know that we are humans. We are not perfect. We also may not know information. We are willing to learn from each other. So these were some of the strategies which helped me in, keeping the children engaged and love the subject.
That's very nice. So means you say ki there should be some icebreakers in between your periods, even
Yes,
if it is senior
yes,
students, because that helps them and brings them back to the teaching whatever you are teaching. So they are able to
yes.
grasp it very nicely. Next question is, ma'am, ki what, as a principal now, what is the difference you found in the online and the offline teaching? Because during the pandemic, many teachers face these issues. So, as principal, what are your opinions on this?
Uh, as a principal, to be very honest, I love the concept of online teaching. But yes, not entirely, I would say online. I was really hoping that, we can introduce hybrid model of, teaching, learning, because somewhere, there are its own pluses and minuses in both ways. I would not say no about that. In an online teaching, major is the network glitches, because you would keep getting disconnected, and to, keep the continuity of the lesson. That was a major challenge which we faced in an online platform. We could not connect with the children on a one-on-one, which happens in a physical school or an offline, teaching process, where you connect with them, you bond with them. There is a physical kind of connection with the children, an emotional connection with the children, which generally, how much ever you try, was not lacking in the online teaching, especially when you're dealing with younger lot of children. They require that kind of a rapport, that socialization. All that was missing in the online teaching. Whereas in an offline teaching, all this is a lot better. But the tools that are available online, amazing tools for teaching are available online, which really, made the teaching learning fun. So I would say, if we can blend both the online and the offline, teaching, it would be great for the children to move forward. But yes, given the, like you said, given the pandemic, the way we educators came on board the online teaching in such a short span of time and adapted to the new way of teaching, it's hats off to all the teachers and the educators. In spite of being at home, managing all the things at home, plus taking their classes, managing the network glitches, getting the work done by the children. So it was all a humongous task, which the teachers have done a wonderful job with. But yes, the challenges what we faced was major, was the network glitches. Second, of course, was training the teachers in the online platform, making them understand that these are the tools, how these tools have to be used, and things like that. And the major thing lacking in the online teaching was definitely the EQ, emotional quotient, which you generally share with the child, the peers. They interact with their peers and things like that. So I would like to tell you one small thing over here. In our online teaching last year, of course, we didn't really get the children on board on offline, because it was totally a lockdown. But in the online also, every day we would give 5 to 10 minutes in the online class for children to just talk to each other. The teacher would just leave the screen and she would not be there in the screen. Though maybe she'd be sitting by the side, but then she was not visible to the children. We let the children communicate with each other. So this is how we try to cover or bridge the gap of the physical rapport interaction or the socialization which children had. So that also helped a little bit. I wouldn't say it was a major thing, but there was a little help because of which children were able to interact and connect with each other. And or even the teachers would have a session with them morning when they just 10-minute like a circle time or something like for all classes, where the teacher would just talk to them and say, okay, how was your day? What happened? What did you do yesterday? This kind of an interaction so that they build a bond with the teacher.
So that was very nice suggestion for online teaching. But do you feel that offline teaching is really good for the children?
Offline teaching, yeah, it is, because like I said, what happens is when you're doing an offline teaching, the teacher is very much present in the class along with the children. So it helps us, check on the learning of the child. It helps us correct take the corrective measures immediately of the child. And it helps them, we know how to guide them further. When we watch them writing in their notebooks or question answers, when you're taking your rounds, immediately you notice if, what needs to be done. So I definitely agree. And yes, the communication with the teacher, the communication with the peers in the class, with the other schoolmates in the class. In an online teaching, you're just meeting your class. You're not meeting the others. Whereas in a physical setup in the school, you assemblies, your activities, everywhere you're meeting the other children itself. So all these things add a lot of value in the child's growth and development. So I would definitely say offline teaching is needed, but yes, a little bit of blend of online will definitely help the children go forward in a better way.
Ma'am, next question is, can you give suggestions where teachers can promote, like today we talk about, self-directed learning a lot. We children should become self-directed learners. So can you suggest one thing where, the teachers can promote the student voice and choice to help them become self-directed learners?
Yes, this, like I said, we have to break the, old method of teaching in the class where teacher only used to talk, explain the topic, and that's all about it. You need to build a very personalized learning environment in the class where, for instance, suppose you're introducing a particular topic. Okay, you introduce a topic to the child and tell them that this is what is expected that we learn from this particular topic, right? And then you also through questioning and through discussion with them, you try and understand what is the prior knowledge that they already have about the topic, and you understand, okay, this is what is the knowledge that they already have about the topic, and also ask them what they would like to learn, what they would like to know more about this topic. Have small teams to discuss this topic and share one thing that they've learned or would like to learn about this particular topic. So by doing this, you're obviously giving them a choice, giving them a voice to share what they want to learn about a topic, right? So when this happens, the learning obviously is more engaged. The children are more engaged in their learning and they're more interested in their learning. Then the next step would be not just chalk talk method. Show some video, maybe a media presentation, maybe a flipped classroom, or maybe a peer presentation where the child is involved in teaching the particular topic. And also another thing we could do is share how you would teach the topic. So as a teacher, I will tell them that, okay, this is what is the topic. Step 1, step 2, this is how I'm going to go and teach the topic, and throw it open for discussion and ask them, how do you want, if you had to redesign the instruction or do it in a different way, how would you do it? Take their ideas, asking them, taking their ideas or help to design the maybe the questions, what kind of questions you think we can ask in this particular topic. So all this will help them become self-directed, because when you instill the interest, when you sow that seed of curiosity, interest, and that importance in them, that yes, you are a value for us, that is why we are asking your opinion, then that automatically helps them in developing an interest to the topic. And also you can ask them to brainstorm about the topic. Like I said, just talk about the topic. So we should always, as teachers, educators, not be in a rush to start the topic and complete the topic. We need to, when we plan our lesson, we need to plan our lesson in such a way where there is room for such kind of discussions connected to their real world. Okay, why are you learning this topic? The child might say, especially in the senior classes, they will say, ma'am, I'm going to be an engineer. I'm going to take science and math. Why do I have to learn, geography? Why do I have to learn history? But if we connect it to the real world and talk about why it is important, then you get the children to, come on board to, learn the topic better, and also encourages them to do a little more, find out more information about the topic, which obviously helps in their, own learning. And then, yeah, so these are some of the things. Give them enough time. That is very important for a particular topic. We have to give them enough time, enough resources so they can research about the topic. And also another thing in the smaller classes, what we can do is maybe have one day where you just tell them that, okay, today is your day to this period. You can do whatever you want related to the topic. Maybe if it's something about, say, plant life or something, maybe you can just take them out into your school garden, ask them to go around, they go and observe. Maybe one child wants to observe the leaf, one child just wants to observe the sky. So these are little things which, kind of initiate the interest, generate the interest in, and motivate them into engaging into learning better, and also self-directed learning.
Also, we can put them in situations, and ask them, what would you do in such situations,
Yes,
the senior
yes,
students? Yes, that would
yes,
also help.
yes. Yeah, so topic, depending on the topic, you can throw questions saying, okay, if you were in charge of this particular, say, natural disaster, what would be your plan of action? What would be your steps? So this also develops the critical thinking, problem solving skills. We understand that in them.
Okay, one thing is, ma'am, I would like to ask you is how, as a teacher, how can you cultivate positive relationship with students, especially the senior ones? Like many teachers face this, because the senior students keep on teasing them, playing prank or saying something, passing sarcastic remarks about the teacher. So how do you think the teacher can cultivate a positive relationship with students?
First of all is patience. We need a lot of patience, especially with their senior students, because we need to understand they're undergoing hormonal changes, body changes. So, somewhere that also plays in their behavioral aspects. So, a lot of patience, a lot of positive communication. Like I keep repeatedly saying, not labeling the child, not, yeah, we need to be stern. It's a very thin line of, respect and friendship that we walk with the senior students. They live in a world of so much of competition today, so much of peer pressure, pressure from the parents, pressure from all around them, that they need a listening ear, a shoulder to lean on to. So be that shoulder to lean on to, be that ear that you can give them. So that is all they require. It's a very slow process, a very slow, process for a teacher to develop that kind of a positive relationship with the child. But a positive communication, patience, listening ear, saying that, yes, I'm there for you, no matter what. These all help in the children, developing the bond with you. And then they automatically, when they develop that bond with you, they understand why you're saying what you're saying. They understand when you correct them, when they're doing something not right. And they are okay with listening to you. But if we are going to be the strict teacher, the dictator kind of a teacher, who feel what is so great about you, what you're feeling. Even I went through this feeling a lot when I was your age. But we need to understand the generation is very different today. The challenges they face are very different from what we faced. Maybe the emotions may be the same, but the challenges are a lot different. So we need to understand that we need to walk with times as teachers. We need to walk with time, change our thought process, change our thinking. We cannot be the same as what our teachers were 20 years back, or the principal was 20 years back. We need to mold ourselves and come on board. We need to be more of a friend in such a way that the child feels I can share anything with this teacher of mine. And at the same time, they also understand that, yes, I can go to her if I have a problem, and share anything under the sky with her. But at the same time, if I'm not going to do something right, she's not going to be very happy about it. So this is a slow process. I just request teachers to have patience, have positive communication, and give a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on. I'm sure you will be able to create that positive relationship, whether it's a senior student or any child of any age group.
So you mean to say that they should be firm as well as approachable? at times.
It is required.
Needs to
Yes.
be, so that they can maintain positive relationship with them. Okay,
Yes.
thank you,
So
ma'am. Next,
first is building the bond, ma'am. First, when you build the bond, then even if you're firm with them, they understand that you want the good for them. Then they don't mind you being firm or scolding them. But first thing is developing that positive rapport, positive bond, saying that I'm there for you, you know, so to guide you, to help you. So you can come to me anytime. Once that happens, once they understand that, once they start having the trust in you and faith in you, then nothing stops you from building that positive relationship with them.
so I think this is a very good advice to the teachers who will be watching this video to understand and learn from this how you are going to build the positive relationship with the students. Any last advice you would like to give to the aspiring teachers? Like today, teachers do not want, many people do not want to take teaching as profession. So what is one advice what you would like to give?
Uh, I would like to share something that I honestly believe in. So as a educationist, children should be the prime focus of all our effort in the work when you take up teaching as a profession. And I'm a very strong believer of teaching the child and not the subject. So subject comes in later on. First, understand the child, teach the child, then only your content, your physics, chemistry, biology, all that comes into play. So you have to involve a lot of activities, involve a lot of experiential learning, so which fosters critical thinking. And at the same time, it makes it interesting for a teacher also to wanting to look forward to come to the class again. Otherwise, it gets very boring when you keep doing the same thing all over again. So keep innovating, keep creating, keep thinking of new ways which will excite you in learning, in teaching, as well as a child in learning. And there is a great expression that I totally live by is, when you're passionate about what you do, you never work for a day in your life. So this is exactly how I feel about my teaching, and it has become part of my teaching philosophy. So each day I bring in that passion, that excitement, that energy when I walk into the school, and encourage all around me and the students also to find that calling of their own. So it's very, very important. So I would request all teachers or aspiring teachers is, become a teacher by choice. It is indeed a great profession, which definitely comes with its own challenges. But there is, at the end of the day, at night when you sleep, you definitely will sleep. Even if you're tired, exhausted, you will sleep with a smile on your face, because you have done something, for a child in the school, or something very small, which later on, after a few years, you will see how it has influenced the child, or what he has become today. You might see him in different parts of the world, topping, in being one of the CEOs and all. So this is the actual reward for a teacher. But yes, become a teacher by choice, not for convenience. Because a lot of, when I interview a lot of teachers, the thing which is very disheartening is, they say, oh ma'am, it's because of the time, it's because of the vacations that we get, that I want to become a teacher. Yes, these are all the perks of the for a teacher, because of the effort that you're putting in for in the class. But if you don't become a teacher by choice, you will not be able to make the difference in a child's life. So become a teacher by choice. Do things from your heart. If you do it from your heart, you feel it for the child and do, you will never go wrong.
That is indeed a great lesson, great experience shared by you, ma'am. Because even I have noticed that, like a few years hence, when you meet your students, you feel so happy when you see how they have grown up, they have become some big personalities today. Like I had one of the students who had I had helped him to get admission in the school because he was from the lower caste, and I had went and I told, that time I used to write in the newspaper, so I had just went and told them, if you do not give the admission to this child, I will write in the newspaper that you all are not giving admission. And that child has become today engineer, and every time when I go to that vegetable market, whenever that lady sees me, she says, because of you my son became engineer. So that's great to hear. As teachers, what we are doing is a noble profession. So
It is, it is.
thanks, ma'am. Thanks for sharing your invaluable advice and experiences on our channel. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us on TN.
Not at all, ma'am. My pleasure.
Thank
Thanks for giving me
you.
this opportunity.
your experiences. I hope my teachers would really love to hear your experiences when they watch this video. And all the teachers who are watching and are connected to me on this channel, thanks a lot, ma'am. Hope to see you again next time, again with more some experiences, and
Yes.
come back to my channel again with something new. Thank
Sure,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
If
much for
you
this
have
wonderful
anything else,
opportunity.
if you we have still 2 minutes, ma'am. If you can just share anything you still have, any experience, where we would be able to learn something.
What I would like to share with the aspiring teachers is, okay, you are aspiring teachers today. Tomorrow you will go on to become, don the role of a leader, coordinators, leaders, and things like that. So, like I said, for the students, for the children, I believe as leaders, as educators, always have a listening ear to your colleagues as well. Give have that time and that space to listen out to them, because everybody is fighting a battle of their own, but still they come on every day in and out. We're all back to school with a smile on our face, leaving all our challenges behind just to be there for the children. So I feel somewhere we as educators or teachers or everybody in the education field at all levels, we need to handhold each other, be understanding with each other and help each other. This way you create a very positive environment, and also understand that everybody is not perfect in everything. So whatever is the quality, whatever is the skill of that particular teacher, make use of that particular skill and develop the skill where the teacher is weak on, right? So similarly we do that to the children, so
Like,
similarly for the
help
educators
the
as well.
other teacher also to develop that, because
Yes,
we as
yes,
teachers are role models to the students. So if we do this, we are creating an environment ourselves, in front of the students. So that's very
yes.
great
And
education.
yeah, and model your behavior. If you are expecting a particular behavior in your class, you as a teacher need to model that behavior. Teachers, children observe every minute thing that we do. We feel they're not observing, but they watch us. So we need to model what we are expecting to mold in the children. It's very important.
That's great. Nice having you, ma'am, on my channel. Thanks a lot for this, all the inputs what you have given us. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I would just like to tell all the teachers, keep shining, keep rocking. You all are doing an awesome job. Wonderful, what do you say? And indeed, a wonderful, wonderful job. God bless all of you. May you all grow and reach heights and make the beautiful difference in each and every child's life.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
so much, ma'am.
Thanks a lot.